This really cool box. This is the Ampligame D6 Stream Controller deck from FiFine. It's about $79 USD, but it's on sale right now for $65. You may have seen similar devices to this. This is like an LCD display for every single button, super programmable, and you can have multiple pages as well. So, for example, I have a combination here of applications, games, and multimedia functions. What I could do is I could have a next page button that would then change all of these icons to whatever the next page is. I could also have folders instead of applications. So I could have a folder for, let's say, system applications like control panel, calculator, command center, that type of stuff. And I click that button and it would load up. So now the best way for me to show you how this thing functions and how to set it up and everything like that is for me to have two separate threads here. So the first thread, I'm just gonna give you a tour of the device, and then I'm gonna make some changes off screen that you'll see populate here. And then I'll do a screen capture, so my audio may not be the same, but I'll do my best. And in that screen capture, I'll show you how the application works. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, as I mentioned, $65 on sale, and it's a plasticky device, but it has this really nice ring around it that you can program. And there's a button on the back as well that you can access right here that changes the LCD lighting options or LED lighting options. And I haven't pressed it, as many times as it's allowed, like I'm sure there's probably some more features on here that I've, like different lighting patterns and stuff. I don't know all of them, I guess is my point. So you play around with them, kind of figure it out. But I like to keep it on a static color because I think everything else is just sort of a little bit overwhelming. So cycling through colors now, see if I can, yeah, nice blue is pretty good. It connects over USB-C on this side, and then on the other end of the cable that's included in the box, you have an adapter. So you can plug it into your PC either through USB-C or USB-A. There's no functional differences, and it'll work just fine regardless of which one you use. So if you have limited port selection, this could be a nice benefit for you. You have some rubber feet on the bottom to help reduce the slippage, and it's pretty stable. This is a light device, so if you give it a good enough force, it will move. But just if you're gonna come here and press the buttons, you can see it. Oops, I just launched Dead Space. You can see that it's not going to actually move a meaningful amount. So I included some applications on here as I was testing it out that I use pretty regularly. I'm almost always in Edge, I'm almost always in my calculator. And believe it or not, I go to control panel a lot because I'm constantly tweaking when I'm on my Windows machine. This is compatible with Mac OS. I did not connect it to my MacBook. I just wanted to see how it would function on Windows. This desktop that I use is basically just for gaming, whereas my Mac is for work. So I didn't want to conflate the two, although I think it could be really valuable, helpful to have this connected to my Mac, because then I can launch things quickly. I can do the multimedia stuff, and that'd be pretty cool. But I also have a lot of that built into my keyboard. So long story short, all of my testing is on Windows, but this is fully compatible with Mac OS. Okay, so a couple things that I noticed though is that, like for Word, for example, when you press the Word button or Outlook or Edge, it's opening a new environment of those things. It's not gonna just switch you over to Edge, so your existing Edge browser that has 5 tabs on it, or the other Edge browser that has 2 tabs on it. It's just gonna open another instance of Edge, so you're just adding to your windows that are open. Now, calculator is the same thing. If you press calculator over and over, it's just opening more and more calculators, which is kind of annoying. So it'd be cool if it was like an app selector, but the exact button that I mapped to these sections it's called open an app. So it's doing exactly what it wants to do, like I'm telling it to do. Okay, let's make some changes to the way this looks so you can get an idea, and then I'll switch you over to the Windows environment. All right, so you notice that I deleted Diablo 2 Resurrected from here. Let's add something new. So we're gonna go to a website. So I can pop that in here, and you can see the icon already changed. Now on the Windows side, again, I'll show you this in a second, I can title this whatever I want, and then I can change the URL to be whatever I want. So very small here, but now it reads test because I named it test. I could call it something else like Tech Adventure, and then I can link it directly to my YouTube URL, for example. And I'd probably be the only one in the world doing that, which is sad and also unique and cool. Let's put it that way. All right, now I'm gonna replace it with a folder. So here we go. Okay, so now it says create folder. So if I press this button, it's gonna lead me to a new folder on the D6 that I can add some more applications or some more functions. So for example, let's add an application, open an app, and I don't have that installed. Oh, I do. Wow, that's weird. Okay, calendar. All right, so now I have my calendar here. So I could put a bunch of different systems functions in here, go back, and then to be more logical, I can rename this to, hold on. I always type worse when people are watching. System apps. And I could go further. I could change the color of the icon. I could change the icon entirely. So if you want your systems apps to be red, and then you want your games folder to be blue, and you want your recording, let's say you do a combination of like Discord, Twitch, OBS, and you want to have all that stuff in a folder, you can have that be green, right? So it's very easy out of the corner of your eye or do it, by quick glance to be able to control, get to the folder that you want to get to. Okay, what else is in here? I mean, there's a lot of different stuff in here. I think maybe the next best step is to just go ahead and show you what it looks like from Windows. So I'm gonna go ahead and be right back here. I'm gonna do a recording from the Windows side. Okay, first things first, to download the application, you cannot get it from the Microsoft App Store. You have to go to the FiFine website and download it there. Once you've downloaded it, it takes a minute to click all the buttons, and now you're into the application. So you can see that this grid of buttons is precisely what I had up just a second ago. It's really fast, by the way. So here's the device. It's really fast. So if I remove Chrome, for example, look how quick that is. Same thing's true if I just move one over, and you can even see it in action. Like I've selected it, bang, it moved over. You're seeing the Microsoft Access icon load up because when you drag this over, it's like doing it all over again. It's like adding the open an app function all over again. Then when you do, watch it go straight to Microsoft Access because it's the first option on the list. So it's kind of fun to watch. But anyway, moving that stuff around is very easy. Now there are a bunch of built-in controls. So you have the FiFine control dock, or deck rather. So this is just built-in stuff like sleep mode, brightness for the device itself. So I can go like this, replace it. Now I'm here, I press the brightness button, and you can see the brightness is changing on the device. And then you have your toolbox. So opening up a website, doing a hotkey. So a hotkey switch. If you want to do a macro, you could do that. Mouse event, so like a left click, right click, so forth and so on. The audio player, so if you want to play some audio and then stop some audio, you have some functions there as well. And then there's this thing, Operation Flow. Now I haven't played around with this very much yet, but what I think we can do here, yeah, there you go. Switch between plugins and modules, and then your action toggle as well. So single step between plugins. This is some pretty advanced stuff that I'd have to play with myself. You have built-in functions for OBS, Discord, and Streamlabs, okay? So a lot of built-in functions and controls to make this very easy to use right out front. However, if you want to get a little more complicated, you can. There is the concept of scenes in this device. So you can add, this is my default scene. I could have another scene. I can call this one, where's my rename? There is a way to rename it. There it is. Import, export, rename, gaming. So I can have a scene that I switch to just from when I'm gaming. So maybe I want to adjust my monitor brightness, although I don't know if that would actually work based on the commands that are in there, but just stuff related to the comfort and experience of my gaming. Volume controls, for example. Screen capture, screen recording, turning it on or off, turning on or off my camera if I'm going to be doing any kind of streaming, and muting my microphone, another thing I may want to do. I could have, just a bunch of different scenes. You can just kind of logically take it from there that you can establish if you'd like to. You can also connect multiple devices and control them all from here. So this is just really my actual connected device, but you can add other devices as well. So that's the FiFine Ampligame D6, a very helpful tool if you'd like to be able to do, if you want to get away from keyboard keystrokes and macros and instead put things to a visual button box like this. I think this is really easy to use. It's a nice looking accessory too to have on your desk. And personally, when I saw the Dead Space icon actually pop up on the thing, it's like, man, that's super cool. Imagine a whole keyboard with stuff like that. It'd be really neat. So yeah, all right, thanks for watching. Thanks to FiFine for sending it over, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.